Hey guys, my name is Anurag and I'm from Cricket Tracker. So today here with us we have Mr. Shailendra Singh. Mr. Shailendra Singh, to give a little bit of information, he is the captain of the India over 50s cricket team and he is going to be leading the Indian team at the World Cup, which is going to start in a few days from now. Mr. Shailendra Singh has also been a movie producer, he's also been a very eminent business personality, and at this age, at this stage in life, he has taken up this challenge of being a professional cricketer. So let's talk to him and find out about this challenge.
This is once in a lifetime opportunity. We have the names, we have the game. There are neighbors and they're not enemies.
So hello sir.
Hi Anurag.
Hello. Nice to meet you, sir. At the age of 50, after having achieved so much in the field of business, having achieved so much in the field of movies, what has kept you motivated to continue and pursue this dream of playing professional cricket at this age?
I think first of all this is once in a lifetime opportunity. So
Yes.
I think Anurag, you don't know the fact that since childhood all I wanted to be was a cricketer. I wanted to play for the country, so from school days, college days, it went on. But at that time, if you played sport, it was a hobby in those days. And now it's a profession actually.
Yes.
If now a kid plays a sport in their family, they say go play because you can make money from the sport. So for me, it was always a passion and a desire, and I wanted to make it a career, but the timing was all wrong. So I get an opportunity to play at very, very professional level, county, minor county, club cricket. I played all that. But I think that desire to represent your country, have that country color and the flag, that was a dream sort of buried and dead. So when this opportunity came, it was a dream come true, to be honest. Nothing replaces the feeling of playing for your country.
Is it any different to you playing when you were a little younger? How is it different right now as a cricketer?
So what happens is that, when a Virat Kohli or a Mahendra Singh Dhoni or a Saurav Ganguly play cricket just casually for fun, it's a very different mindset. It's a very different kind of pressure that they carry. It's more to do with entertainment and fun,
Yes.
having a blast playing it. But the minute you step on a field where you represent the pride of your country, and you actually represent, like in India, cricket is a religion. The whole mindset, the body language, the attitude towards the sport, the uncertainty, the insecurity, everything comes into play.
Yes.
So actually speaking, the minute you step in the green for the country, it becomes a matter of pride. So sport, it becomes a natural reflex. It's more about strategy and it becomes more of a mind game than physical. Body starts moving naturally the minute you are on the ground for the country. But I think, and particularly in 50 plus, I think the mind is a 50-50 ratio of cricket and fitness and the mind, the strategy that is at play.
As far as your fitness regimes are concerned, what is it? Is there something you are really focusing on? Is there something particular you're focusing on?
For me, it's a bit tougher than the rest. I may say so because I open the bowling attack.
Okay.
So at 50 plus, I won't tell you my real age, but it's ahead of 50. To be a left arm seamer, to open the bowling, the body just needs to be not just fit. It has to be far more flexible and has to have the power to be able to recoup. This format is a tough format. Our group is called the Death Group.
Yeah.
We have the three favorites in our group and we are the underdogs, allegedly. England, Pakistan and South Africa. So it's tough, and every game is on the alternate day and 2 games are back to back. So when you play 45 overs at this age, it becomes really difficult to be able to recoup. So on that day, you'll give it all you have, but to be able to recoup. So I think 50% of my training has been about how to rebuild back your stamina, your muscles, and recoup for the next game. So it's just not going to the gym and banging a cardio and some weights, but it's also figuring out how your body has to be managed post the game.
Is there anything you're specifically planning to tackle some of these top teams, like let that be Australia or Pakistan who reached the finals last time, or the teams in your group, England and South Africa? Is there anything specific you're planning?
For me, it was like I said to you that I had to use all the possible research to know the opposition. We've built a team of so-called hidden talent. That's why when you go on their website, you will see that we seem to be the most unknown 11 or 16, so to say. But I feel that we have a very talented bunch, and we have ample surprises, just not from what we bring to the table, but also the fact that we do know our opposition and their true potential. So that's going to be a bit of fun because the pressure is on them. So in England, they have, I think, 5 players who represent their country. South Africa has 6.
Yes.
So the pressure is entirely on them. We are the unsung, unknown heroes. We will go and bang it in and we'll play for our country and give it all our best. And it's up to them to perform because they're, you know what, there's a phrase that I said to my president this morning of my board, and I said, they have the names, we have the game. So we'll bring
Isn't
the game
that
to the
amazing?
party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a very cliched question, but India and Pakistan are in the same group.
Yeah.
But I'm sure growing up, you must have seen so many classic India-Pakistan games. That must be a special feeling.
India-Pakistan game is just not a game. I think it's
More than just a game.
Yeah, it's just entertainment at its peak.
Yeah.
I mean, you're practically watching a big Hollywood, Bollywood movie for those. If it's a T20, it's 3 hours, otherwise 7 hours. But I feel that the track record of India-Pakistan matches is largely in India's favor.
Yeah.
So I think it's more hype. I think India has brilliantly beaten them in all departments whenever India plays, whether it's any format. So I think that's on our side. And secondly, I truly believe that we're a nation of 1.3 billion people. We better have a better game on the field against that opposition. And for me, there are neighbors and they're not enemies. So for me, it's just a sport. And we have seen their skill set. They're a good team because they also come from the same region.
Yes.
So they also, have same kind of emphasis on their batting, bowling, strategy, spin department, all that jazz.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a tough team to tackle because they would know what we're doing and we would know what they're doing.
Yeah, they very nearly won the World Cup.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's going to be fun. But I mean, to me personally, as leading the team for 50 plus, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, this is family, man. They're all neighbors.
So as you talk about leading the team, now that you are leading the team, are you looking at any particular captain as a role model? There have been so many amazing captains we've had. Kapil Dev.
He's my friend. He's my favorite. He was my icon when I was growing up.
Of course.
In 400 plus whatever tests he played, he never had an injury. He never missed a single game.
Yes.
He's the most consistent performer. He was the first one who brought us glory. 1983. He's a true hero on the field, off the field. Conducts himself brilliantly.
Charismatic.
One of the finest athletes.
Yeah.
Finest stories of a man of the soil, from nowhere to everywhere. So I think he's my ultimate icon. He's a true example because in 83 also, I mean, nobody was hopeful about the victory. Kapil Dev, when he left India for 83, when he knew that the odds are like 1:100, he carried a bottle of champagne in his kit bag. So if people plan for worst cases, he planned for best case.
So there are some very big players, like as you just said, there are 6 international players playing for South Africa, and there are some other international players playing, representing their countries as well. So have you had a chance to discuss with them, like how is it to play at this age, having retired from the game, having quit the game for some time and again coming back again?
I just feel that the cricket never dies in you.
Of course.
In Marathi, as they say, khaj, the hunger, it never dies. So cricketing abilities go into a hard disk. Then the rest is reflexes, body and all that jazz. So I think the cricket never goes out of fashion.
There's this question which one of our teammates actually wanted to ask you. If you are given a chance to play with any current Indian cricketer, who would that be?
To play besides? Mahendra
To
Singh.
play with? Yeah,
Mahendra
besides,
Singh
yeah,
Dhoni.
sure. Mahendra Singh.
Mahendra Singh Dhoni. I mean, he's my magician.
Magician.
Yeah, even Saurabh, Sachin, Kapil all did great work, but Dhoni brought the twist and the turns in the game. He brought the attitude.
So there's so much talk right now about how a captain should be. Now someone says they should be like an MS Dhoni, calm and composed on the track. And someone actually likes, a lot of people actually like the kind of attitude that Virat Kohli is bringing in, the aggression. So is there any particular kind of attitude that you are trying to bring in as a captain, a mixture of caution and aggression? Or, or is it something that you want to go with your personality, with your instincts?
So I think each captain, whether it's Saurav Ganguly, Kapil Dev, Dhoni or Virat Kohli, let's cover the entire
All of them, yeah.
4 decades, so to say. I think each one, what they do on the field is their true personality. I don't think you can act for 9 hours a day, 200 days of the year. It's impossible to act like that. So Dhoni and Kapil Dev and Saurav and Virat have their own personalities and they bring it to the table. Now, maybe the universe, ensures that they present a captain like Virat Kohli at a time in the 21st century when we have the youngest population of the planet. We have 600 million youth in the country. So they like that whole flamboyance, etc. So I think each captain does it naturally. For me, as a personality, I'm a combination of Dhoni and Virat Kohli. So I do use the law of the game. So if the law permits me aggression, I will use it for sure because it works. I feel that cricket is also played in the mind. And at the end of the day, I also believe that nothing is greater than the performance. So you can talk so much, but at the end of the day, if your performance is not good enough, you won't make the cut. So I think it's a combination, but I truly believe that each one brings their own personality to the table. And for me, I do like to hit the bouncer on the front foot. I'm not a guy who ducks and goes backward. That's my personality. Saurav used to have a habit of going backwards. Ricky Ponting went on the front foot. Virat goes on the front foot. Dhoni slaps it. So each one has a little characteristics, but I'm certainly I'm a guy who likes to do things on the front foot.
So before we finish, of course we all want India to win, but according to you, which team has a better chance of going all the way this time?
I think, in my opinion, there are two teams to watch out for, which is South Africa and England. I feel these are the two teams to watch out for, because South Africa has a lot to play for pride. They're hosting it. They're hosting the World Cup. And England comes in with a lot of experience. The captain is brilliant, and I think they have a really balanced team. And as much as India believes that cricket is a religion, somewhere I think we borrowed the Englishman's religion, because it was they who brought cricket to our land. So I think there's a lot to play for them too.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
Yes.